I need your attention right now. Stop scrolling, stop checking out, stop thinking this ain't for you. Because if you're breathing, if you've been through anything, if life ever hit you so hard you didn't think you'd get up, this is your message. You keep thinking you're weak because you're tired. You think you failed because you cried. You think you're broken because you don't have it all together. But let me tell you something. You are still here. You're still standing. And that ain't weakness. That's strength. Most people don't even understand. They judge you by what you lost. They judge you by how low you fell, but they don't know the whole story. They don't know what it took just to get out of bed. They don't know the fight you had in the dark when nobody was clapping for you. They don't know the private battles, the silent wars, the nights you asked God why you were still here, but you kept going. Listen to me. If you're still standing, then you're still in the fight. And if you're still in the fight, you're not weak. You're wary, you're strong. You've already won battles that would have buried someone else. So don't you dare count yourself out. What I'm about to share in this message for every person that thought they were done. Every person who looked in the mirror and saw broken, but didn't realize they were looking at unbreakable. You might be bent, but you are not broken. You might be bruised, but you are not beaten. So don't go nowhere. Don't tune out, because by the time we finish, you're going to remember exactly who you are and why nothing can keep you down. You think because you struggled, because you broke down, because you were on your knees crying, that makes you weak? No, that makes you human. And if you're still standing after all of that, that makes you powerful. See, most people only measure strength by how much you lift, how loud you speak, how confident you look. But I measure strength by how many times you got hit and got back up. I measure strength by how many days you woke up and didn't feel like facing the world, but you did anyway. That's strength, real strength. Not the fake kind that flexes when the cameras are on, but the kind that fights when nobody's watching. You survived what was designed to break you. You didn't fold, you didn't quit, you didn't stay down. Yeah, you were broken. Yeah, you were bleeding, but you kept breathing, you kept moving, and now you're still here. Don't you ever downplay that. You see, people always talk about comebacks like there's something pretty, something clean, but comebacks are messy. Comebacks are bloody. Comebacks are born in the dark when you're screaming at the ceiling asking God why. Comebacks are built when you don't have a support system, when you've got nobody cheering for you and the only voice pushing you is the one inside your own chest whispering, keep going. You keep forgetting what you've made it through. You keep letting your mind tell you you're not enough. You keep letting the enemy convince you you're fragile, you're broken, you're too far gone. But listen to me. You're still standing. That means everything they tried didn't work. That means the divorce didn't destroy you. The heartbreak didn't end you. The failure didn't finish you. That depression didn't hold you down forever. You're still here. And you better start walking like it, talking like it, living like it. You don't need a title to be strong. You don't need the world's approval. You don't need the applause. You already passed the test. You already survived the fire. Now it's time to own that. Time to stop playing small because life tried to shrink you. Time to stop hiding the parts of you that hurt, because those are the parts that heal. Those are the parts that shaped you. Those are the parts that made you unshakable. Most people crumble under pressure. Most people run when it gets hard. But you stayed, you fought, you kept showing up, you kept moving forward, you kept walking when your legs felt like giving out. That's not weakness, that's not luck, that's not chance. That's strength, that's power, that's endurance, that's real grit. And I know it didn't feel like strength when you were going through it. I know it felt like hell. I know it felt like you were drowning. But you did it, you survived, you rose, you kept rising. And if you did it once, you can do it again. Because the same strength that got you through that last battle, it's still in you. So the next time you question your worth, the next time you start believing those lies about how weak you are, how broken you are, how tired you are, you remind yourself, I'm still here. I'm still standing. And if I'm still standing, then I'm still winning. Let me tell you something real. Not everybody's going to see the work you put in. Not everybody's going to know what it cost you to smile, what it cost you to show up, what it cost you just to keep going. And that's okay, because strength doesn't always make noise. Sometimes the strongest people are the quietest in the room. They ain't trying to prove nothing to nobody. They're just surviving, just enduring, just staying in the fight. See, we live in a time where people think everything has to be shared. Everything has to be posted. Everything has to be proven to be real. But some of the most powerful moments of your life will happen when nobody's watching. Some of the strongest things you'll ever do will be done in silence, in private, in the dark, when you're crying on the bathroom floor and still choosing not to give up. When you're walking through the fire with a smile, just so your kids, your family, your people don't feel the heat you're carrying. That's not weakness, that's strength. That's a strength most people don't understand. Because real strength doesn't always show up in loud ways. Sometimes it's in that quiet decision to try one more time. That silent vow to not give up today. That invisible push to keep going even when you don't feel like it. Even when the weight is too much, the pain is too deep, and the support is nowhere to be found. You think because nobody saw your struggle, it don't count? You think because nobody clapped for your survival, it's not real? Let me tell you, those invisible wins, they're the most important ones because they shape your character. They build your endurance. They teach you that your value's not in the views or the likes or the affirmations. It's in your grit, in your consistency, in your ability to show up every day, no matter how heavy it gets. People don't know what it took for you to be here right now. They don't know about the sleepless nights, the silent screams, the loneliness, the losses. They don't know how many times you had to motivate yourself because nobody else was doing it, but you still did it. You still got up, you still moved, you still fought. That's real. That's what makes you unshakable. That's what makes you unstoppable. You don't have to shout your strength to prove it. You don't have to post your pain to validate it. You don't need the world to see the process to make it powerful. Your story is valid even if it's never told. Your strength is real even if nobody ever sees it. You know, you lived it, you walked through it. And that's more than enough. There's a kind of strength that doesn't need recognition, a kind that doesn't need confirmation, a kind that's built in long nights, in lonely days, in moments when you had every reason to quit and still didn't. That kind of strength is different. That kind of strength can't be shaken, can't be bought, can't be faked. That kind of strength is what carries you when motivation fades. That kind of strength is what wakes you up when your heart wants to stay down. So stop worrying about who's noticing. Stop asking who's clapping. Stop measuring your journey by who shows up for you. If you're showing up for yourself, you're already winning. If you're still pushing, still breathing, still believing, even just a little, that means the strength you're looking for, it's already in you. You keep hiding your scars like there's something to be ashamed of. You keep walking like if people saw what you've been through, they'd think less of you. But let me tell you something. You didn't go through all that hell to come out hiding. You didn't fight those battles just to cover up the proof that you survived. Your scars aren't weakness, they're witnesses. They testify that the pain didn't win, that the storm didn't break you, that you're still here. Real strength doesn't look perfect. It doesn't walk around untouched. Real strength has been through something. It walks with the limp. It carries bruises. It has stories behind the smile. It has war in its chest and peace in its soul because it knows what it took to make it this far. You didn't read about struggle, you lived it. You didn't study survival, you became it. And every scar you carry, that's proof. You need to stop seeing your scars as shame. Stop seeing your hurt as something that made you weaker. Nah, you're solid because of it. You're not soft. You're not fragile. You're solid. And the reason you're solid is because you've already been cracked and still didn't fall apart. You've been broken open, and instead of losing who you were, you discovered who you really are. People try to act like strength means never getting hurt. But that's a lie. The strongest people I know have been hurt deeply, and they still chose to love again. They've lost everything, and they still had the courage to rebuild. They were disappointed, rejected, humiliated, and they still had the heart to try again. That's not weakness. That's warrior level strength. That's strength that doesn't give up just because it got wounded. That's strength that doesn't run just because it got knocked down. Some of y'all are sitting here thinking you're broken, thinking you're not good enough because you've been through so much. But what you don't realize is all those experiences, those losses, those betrayals, those failures, they made you wiser. They made you deeper. They've made you unshakable. You're not where you used to be. You don't think the same. You don't trust the same. You don't fall for the same lie. You've grown. You've leveled up, and it came at a cost, but it was worth it. See, everybody wants strength until it requires pain. They want growth until it costs comfort. But you paid the price. You went through the fire. You got the scars to prove it. And now it's time you stop hiding them and start using them. Because your story, your real, raw, scarred up story is going to help somebody else stand up. Somebody who thinks they're too broken to heal. Somebody who thinks they're too bad to ever come back. When they hear your story, they're going to realize healing is possible. Rising is possible. Strength after the storm is possible. So don't you dare hide what you've been through. Don't you dare cover up the parts of you that hurt. Those are the parts that make you human. Those are the parts that connect you to somebody else who's suffering in silence. You're not weak for having scars. You're strong because you kept going while you were still bleeding. And if you've got scars, if you've got pain, if you've got a past, you've also got a purpose. You're still standing, and that's powerful. But now it's time to move. It's time to stop just surviving and start stepping into the life that's been waiting for you. You didn't make it through everything you've been through just to exist, just to take up space, just to breathe and stay stuck in the same place. No, you came through all that fire so you could walk forward in strength, in power, in purpose. Some of you have been standing in the same place for too long. You made it out, yes, but you're still living like you're trapped. You got out of the pain, but your mind's still stuck in survival mode. You're still bracing for the next hit. Still walking like you're wounded, still treating life like something you just have to endure. But you didn't survive all that just to stay scared. You survived to move. You survived to lead. You survived to become. There comes a moment when you have to shift from recovery to revelation, from being the one who was broken to the one who knows how to build, from being the one who got knocked down to the one who helps others get back up. You don't need to keep standing still, waiting for permission, waiting for clarity, waiting for someone to tell you it's your time. It's been your time. It was your time the moment you stood up when life tried to knock you out. You might feel uncertain, you might feel tired, but guess what? That's normal. That's part of the process. The pain made you strong, but the movement is what turns that strength into growth. You've got to take the next step, even if you're unsure, even if it's small, even if it's shaky, because standing still in fear will keep you stuck in a season that was only meant to shape you, not to hold you. Don't let what hurt you keep you from what's ahead of you. Don't let what you lost blind you to what's possible. That pain you went through, it didn't cancel your future, it prepared you for it. Everything that came against you was trying to bury you, but it ended up planting you. And now it's time to grow. I get it. You've been in fight mode for so long that peace feels uncomfortable. You've been doubted for so long that believing in yourself feels unfamiliar. You've been told you can't for so long that I will sounds like a foreign language. But it's time to unlearn all that. It's time to reprogram your thinking. Stop carrying the mindset of a survivor and start walking with the confidence of someone who is chosen to keep going. You've got a purpose that your pain couldn't kill. You've got a future that your failure didn't erase. You've got a calling that rejection couldn't cancel. And if you're still standing, you're still eligible, you're still able, you're still in this for a reason. So don't just stand there. Don't just survive. Take the step. Make the move. Say yes to the life that's calling your name. Start walking. Start speaking. Start living like someone who knows they weren't supposed to be here, but are. Someone who knows they've been through the fire and didn't come out burned. They came out built. You're still standing, and now it's time to rise.